It's 5:30, Monday, September 11th, 2017, and I'm going to call the meeting of the Paris City Council to order. The first order of business is the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. But let's everyone stand for the invocation. But before we do the invocation, let's have a moment of silence for the 9/11 victims and the victims of the two hurricanes that are still suffering right now. Okay, thank you. And Mr. Anderson's going to give the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
May we pray? Heavenly Father, we do thank you for the privilege that we have to live in this great land. We just pray, Father, for our leaders, that you would guide and direct them, for these are difficult times. And Father, whether it's the national, state, or local level, Father, important decisions get made every day, and we just pray for your guidance and direction. Father, we too want to remember those, Father, who've lost their lives in 2001 on this day. We pray for those, Father, who continue to risk their lives, Father, to protect our freedom, Father, in the military and in law enforcement and fire department and EMS and all of our emergency services, Father. We just ask that your blessings continue upon us and guide us and direct us. We ask it in your name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, first order of business, as usual, is the Citizens Forum. Persons desiring to address the council must limit their presentation to no more than 2 minutes. Unless an item is posted on the agenda, the Texas Open Meetings Act prohibits the council from responding to any comments other than to refer the matter to a future agenda, to an existing policy, or to a staff person with specific factual information. Claims against the city, council members, or employees, as well as individual personnel appeals, are not appropriate for Citizens Forum. If necessary, well, and that's it. I'll open the Citizens Forum now. Anyone wishing to address the council, please come up, identify yourself, and give your name and address.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. My name is Carol Huffnagel, 720 Bunker Street. And I like to attend the meetings here to listen for myself what goes on and to watch body language. And there's been some letters by Mr. Kennedy, whom I do not know, in the paper. And Mayor, you had an editorial in on Sunday. But, you know, I just don't know how we can get the word out there and the correct word. There might have been 25 people here when Mr. Godwin gave an explanation of this economic development, and I don't know how many people read the News, which isn't a great number. So, you know, it's one word against another word. But it's my understanding that the council does have control over PEDC. Am I correct on that?
That's correct.
You guys might just have to take it in your own hands, and if you see that they are not doing things correctly, let them know who's in charge. But, you know, we hear and see so much, and I really get confused as to who's right and who's wrong in a lot of these organizations. But anyway, it was good to read this explanation, but you got to get the word out there better than that.
Thank you very much.
Councilman, my name's Ed Darnell. I live at 961 West Sherman. For some reason or other, the city of Paris has been harassing me for the last 15 years for no reason other than they can. Now, it seems like every month you people file another grievance against me for selling building material or having building material that I sold to Mrs. Knox, Ms. Flores here, that I've sold to Mrs. Lancaster over the last 20 years. Bricks, building material, blocks for blocking up houses and stuff. Now, this is all building material. It's not rubbish. Just because you 7 people or 8 people can sit up here and say it's rubbish, it's not rubbish. Now, I'm supposed to dispose of everything I've got over there. This commission you had here, or whatever you call it, building standards, gave me 90 days to clean up my property, and then it rained for 22 times. So that gave me like 20 days to do the job. And now they tell me they're going to come over there. They sent an order to my attorney. They're going to come over there and haul away $500,000 worth of my personal property like they did back in 2010 without any notification, without any authorization other than they can just go over and steal it. 2010, they stole $1 million worth of my personal property. Limousine, trucks, trailers, tools, $200,000 worth of hand tools and 2 trailers. And I was tearing down old houses around here and selling the building material because they couldn't get the building material. I sold to Mrs. Knox, Miss Suarez. Mrs. Lancaster bought a bunch of building material from me. But now, for some reason or other, you people have got a mad on at me because I happen to walk the streets and get petitions signed so Barney Bray didn't get the trash service, and so you couldn't sell the water to Irving. Now, ever since that happened, you people have been on my back. Now, I just need someone to tell me what I need to do for the city to work with me so I can clean up my lots and get them sold. Now, right here, I've got pictures showing this trailer is 140 feet on my property. Here's another picture, if I may come up there.
Your 2 minutes are up, but if you would like to address the city manager regarding that after the meeting, that would be appropriate.
My name is Janine
Pull that
Lauren.
down a little bit so we can hear you, please.
My name is Janine Lauren. I live at 1760 Northeast 34th Street. Being on these boards is a tough job. According to Mr. Godwin, members of the EAD to be initiated, and I also assume the City Council should study and review the city's development plans and program, including the city's comprehensive plan, master land use plan, and zoning ordinances, the Master Parks Recreation and Open Space Plan, the Coxfield Plan Development District Ordinance, the Lake Crook Plan Development District Ordinance, the Downtown Redevelopment Plan, the Retail Economic Development Policy, the Tax Abatement Policy, and any and all other adopted economic development plans and policies of the city and the PEDC and any extended city infrastructure development plans and programs. I'm really glad to hear that all these exist as a matter of public record. Doing this is difficult, time-consuming, and educationally demanding. It is an act of stewardship to the community of Paris. Part of our problem as a community is the unwillingness to expend this effort and the unwillingness to listen to what is learned from it. I'm asking not to be confined to 2 minutes of speaking because it would be selective prosecution and enforcement. Further, I have spent the time and money trying to bring myself up to snuff about all of this. Those are all the things that I have purchased, read, and dealt with. This is going to be a long, ongoing process for us, so we might as well get used to it. The first time I spoke, I was very critical of what I perceived to be the pay scale for the city manager. I made that mistake because since the budget of 2013, we no longer show the number of employees per department. Thus, I did not see the city manager as a department, but an individual. There are lots of conflicts of interest and duplications in our budget process. It appears that for 3 of the 12 years I have studied, the city treasurer was also the interim city manager.
Your 2 minutes are up. Thank you.
This is not
I let you
happening.
speak considerably longer than 2 minutes last time, but 2 minutes is the time we use.
I only spoke
Thank you.
for a minute, and you let all of these 2 people speak longer than 2 minutes.
I did not. I had the timer going.
I timed it.
Thank you. I have the
You're
timer here.
terrible.
Michael Glatfelder, Paris City. I'm here tonight to speak on item 11, discuss and authorize city manager to execute a contract for $274,000 to Barney Bray. I'd like to talk about history a little bit. A few years ago, There was a piece of land purchased by Tri-State Metal Recyclers over by Morningside. And everybody over there screamed and hollered about having this recycling center built there. Well, within 4 days of Tri-State buying this piece of land from Barney Bray, who was on the Planning and Zoning Commission, within 4 days, all the permits were issued to begin construction, and then a few days later, they were rescinded. We ended up going to court. We ended up settling for $75,000 to Tri-State, and somehow Mr. Bray managed to stay on the Planning and Zoning Board. I raised the devil about this before. There was a conflict of interest there. The man made money. We spent $75,000 to get out of trouble. And how do you reward him? Instead of giving him sanctions, him and his company, which should be sanctioned for a few years, you're about to give him $250,000. It's the same old with y'all. The same old boys, your friends, the people you drink with. When's it going to quit? No, you don't got to give me the 2 minutes, sir. If you ain't giving me 2 minutes, you're passing somebody off. You love to pass the buck. I've noticed that about you. Anyway, I hope Mr. Bray enjoys his money. I know how you all vote, and I'll be here watching it. Ms. Knox, you're going to have to explain this to me because you're my 5th District Councilwoman. I'm going to need an explanation later on for this, okay?
Anyone else wish to speak? Seeing none, the citizens forum is now closed. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Does anyone have anything they wish to remove from the consent agenda for further discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion?
Motion to accept and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Regular agenda, item number 9. Conduct a public hearing, discuss and act on an ordinance considering the petition of Lawrence Thompson for a change in zoning from single-family dwelling district number 2 to a single-family dwelling district number 2 with a specific use permit for a recreational private facility private on Sperry's First Edition Block 2, Lot North, Part 1, being located at 2815 West Campbell Street. This has been tabled, so I'll make a motion we remove this item from the table.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, it's now been untabled. We can go ahead and open the public hearing on this. Anyone wishing to, well, go ahead. You want to speak first, Alan?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening. This was tabled, and you correctly removed it from the table. The staff recommendation for this proposed basketball court on the subject property was for approval. However, last Thursday at the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, after considering the comments of the Planning and Zoning Commission and several citizens who spoke in opposition, the staff supports the position in the Planning and Zoning Commission, which was the recommendation for denial. Just as a reminder, state statute and the zoning ordinance require that if the city council wishes to approve this, it has to be 3/4 a majority, which would be 6 members. So we'd be pleased to answer any questions you might have.
Yeah, and as I was at both planning and
Yes, sir.
zoning meetings, and the applicant failed to show at both of those meetings.
That's
And the
correct.
nice ladies here all showed up at both meetings and spoke against it, and it is their neighborhoods.
Yes,
So my feeling pretty strongly is we should oppose this. I don't know, I don't know what the rest of the council feels on this, but
One of the conditions that the Planning and Zoning Commission was, in fairness to the applicant, they tabled it to give the applicant additional time to come here. Just a footnote, if the council wishes to approve this, staff does respectfully recommend that all 5 conditions as stated be part of your specific use approval concept.
okay,
Thank you.
we are required to have a public hearing on this,
Yes, sir.
so I'll open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in favor or in opposition to this, please come forward.
My name is Lawrence Thompson. I see up here you got me recommended for denial on a property. I'm here to find out why. All I wanted was the address. Why would I be denied? I got over $500 tied up in this light. I'm thinking all I wanted was a light. Someone opposed me. Why? I can tell you many reasons why I won the court. It's for 3 or 5-year-old children. Myself, I'm 66 years old. What could I do? All I wanted was a light. The city of Paris said I can't have a light. Why? You don't have no address. I done paid a licensed electrician to put up the light base. He cost me $300. Tell me it's simple. This is all you got to do. You go up and get you a permit, and I'll put your business in. I said, okay. No big deal. Now I'm up here begging for my life because I got $500 tied up in a light. The light fixture's there. The dirt's there. I was working the dirt. No problem. 2 people opposed me and says I can't do this. All I wanted was a light. The light's there on the pole. Why can't I have the electricity turned on? Somebody opposes me. I'm here trying to beg. I got $500. Nobody wants to give me my money back. And the reason I'm here now is the fact that when I gave the $200, I was supposedly, no reason they should deny you. It's just a basketball court, and all you want to do is put a light up. I said, yeah, here's the $200. Let me get my permit so I can go back to work. Working the dirt at night, it's hard to see. Light would have been just perfect. No problem. Now I got a tractor out there to move the dirt. All of a sudden now I'm stopped. If you deny my recommendation, I'm out of $500, and neither one of you want to give me my money back. And I feel kind of bad about that. After all, I hired a licensed electrician, asked him before he started, because I never wanted to stand before you people. That's why I hired him. I paid that man in advance so he would go ahead and do his job. He did it wrong. He pulled a permit on another piece of property. That's what started the whole mess in the first place. I didn't know. I done paid him. He said, everything's okay. All you gotta do is have your lights turned on. And the power company said, no, we can't turn them on. And here I stand, $500 in debt, and I got light fixtures, switches, poles, paid everything but your approval. And I would like to know why I am being denied this privilege to have an electric light on a lot. Maybe you should take this into consideration and table this until we can get a better understanding, because if it's denied without explaining to me why you turn me down, it's going to be something to live with, and I don't know how I could manage to do that, thinking I'm out of $500 just for a light. Thank you to reconsider. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak for or against this, please step up, state your name and address, and address the council, please.
To the council. My name is Alice Hearn, and I live at 795 28th Street Northwest. And I oppose it because it was going to be doing tournaments and stuff. It would be open from 9 till 10 o'clock at night. And there's a lot of small children in the area that goes to school and have a problem with the traffic. Where's going to be the parking and all of that for, tournaments? No, bathrooms and stuff if you're going to have a private tournament. And we just don't want a whole lot of trash and stuff, if you don't have a bathroom on the outside, if you're going to have and that was my reason because I know it's not a parking area and everything there, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak, please come up.
Good evening. I am Carolyn Briley. I own my home at 2510 West Campbell Street in Paris, Texas. I am here this evening in opposition to the rezoning of the property as stated on the docket today. According to City Hall, it seems that no other permits of this nature have been granted, so it is my concern that this type of permit could possibly cause our neighborhood to evolve into a community of unwelcome, uncontrolled activities of varying natures and degrees. Please consider the 3 churches in the vicinity, children at bus stops, noise pollution, trash buildup, human waste, and the constant revolving door of individuals visiting the site. There's no parking. There's no running water on the facility there. There is, the parking is going to be an issue for the people who are participating and for those who would come and be spectators. If these and other issues are not addressed properly, and the results may be a license for chaos. There must be regulations and there must be restrictions. I do not want West Parish to be a catch-all for undesirable permits. Once such permits have been issued, negotiations for reversal may not be possible. We already have public parks and trails located around Paris, and some to mention, Leon Williams Park, and they do have a basketball court there. There's Walker Park across from Justice for families, Oak Park on Bonham, the Boys and Girls Club on Hickory. All of the above are situated in places where the noise level is a safe distance from homes and family living. There is sufficient parking, and they have running water and restrooms that are maintained and monitored by the city, and they are accessible to residents in the area. Again, I am opposed to the rezoning of the said property. Please consider the actions to keep the zoning as it stands today. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? All right.
This is Miss Benny Battle, and she's had some health issues and asked that I read these words on her behalf. I am here to speak on behalf of Benny Battle, who currently resides at 1025 West Houston in Paris, and due to medical reasons, she asked that I read this information. I, Benny Battle, own the property located on lot 19600, facing Northwest 28th Street, adjacent or bordering 2815 West Campbell. I oppose the rezoning of a single-family dwelling district F2 to single-family dwelling F2 with specific use with private permit number 46 recreational facility. I would like for the property to maintain its current status because my family and I have discussed future plans for the property. This rezoning would pose an immediate concern for trespassing, noise levels of uncontrolled recreational traffic, and other possible disclosed activities beyond my control. I again oppose the rezoning of the property and the issuing of this private permit. I ask that you keep the zoning of the single-family dwelling district F2 in place as it stands today.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Okay, the public hearing is now closed. Any discussion on the council? Any questions anyone has of anyone regarding this?
Was he given a permit for this?
No, he applied for the permit, and it was presented to planning and zoning. He did not show the first time, and they tabled it. That the most recent planning and zoning, they were planning on hearing both sides. He did not show at that, and the planning and zoning unanimously recommended refusing this permit, declining this permit. So since the planning and zoning has now declined this, it will take a vote of 6-1 in order to pass this. 5-1 won't do it. We have to have 3/4 vote. So so that's what it'll take if we decide to pass this. Yes.
Well, I feel like people should, to an extent, have the right to do what they want to with their property, but nobody has a right for their property to be a nuisance to their neighbors. And to me, this just seems like it could be a nuisance, maybe even against Mr. Thompson's wishes. People could use it trespassing and so forth. It could be a lot of traffic, a lot of trash, and a lot of noise.
Yeah, I'm also going to be opposed to this. Simply, the ladies that have spoken were very compelling all three times that I've heard them, and this is their neighborhood. There are significant restrictions on the use of that. However, this could be designated, if this zoning goes through, this will be permanently changed to that zoning, and it could go in there, anything could go in there in the future. So I'm opposed to this.
That's a real narrow streets over through there, too. Traffic would really...
Anyone else have any comments? I make a motion that we reject this, this zoning change.
I second it.
All in favor of rejecting it? Anyone opposed? Okay. Item number 10, conduct the second public hearing on the city's proposal to increase tax revenues from the preceding tax year and to set the tax rate for 2017. I will open the public hearing regarding this, and if you would like to speak, please come up. Anyone? No one wishing to speak regarding this item. I will close the public hearing. Anything else we need to do on this, Mr. Godwin?
No, sir.
Okay. Item number 11, discuss and authorize the city manager to execute a contract in the amount of $274,975.50 with B-Bray Construction, Inc. for construction of the TXC DBG Dixon Orange Infrastructure Improvements Project. Ms. Easton.
Yes, the city was awarded a community development block grant for the amount of $330,000 to go towards water and sewer improvements on Dixon Street and sewer improvements on Orange Street. We had our bid opening on August 31st, and we received 3 bids. The lowest was B-Bray Construction in the amount of $274,975.50. The third bidder was, after doing our due diligence and checking the bids, is for all intents rejected because there were some irregularities with their bid form. So it turns out we had 2 good bids, and we do recommend award to Barney Bray for this project.
I've got some questions for you. I'm trying to track these online to see how they're listed, and I saw this ended up on Civcast. Did you post it on Civcast, or did Civcast pick it up and post it from the other websites?
It was posted on Civcast.
Okay. Civcast allows questions, and I noticed that 6 questions were posted and they weren't promptly answered. I understand they were answered in an addendum. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. They have to be answered in an addendum because in order for us to consider a bid, all contractors have to acknowledge that they have received the addendum.
And the addendum came out less than 3 days before the bids were open. Is that correct?
Yes. Questions are received up to 72 hours before the bid, and then the addendum comes out 2 days prior to the bid opening. That way everyone has the chance to get the same information.
Civcast is set up to make online bidding easy. It keeps track of if people make a bid on Civcast and there's an addendum, that bid becomes invalid until they click on it to state that they've read it, which kind of satisfies the legal problems of making sure everybody's notified. Is there some reason we don't do online bids instead? This is kind of archaic to open up physical bids. That's the way it's been done for the last 50 years. But is there some reason we don't do online bids? Have you looked into that?
We haven't looked into that. Even other places that I've worked weren't fully set up for online bidding because there is some prep to it. You have to be able to receive it in a secure way and make sure that no one can see it until the bid opening time. Although I think that Civcast is set up to do that, and
yeah.
Civcast is somewhat new to me as well.
I like that they had the questions and answers. The engineers were able to answer the question on the fly, and then when the addendums come out, the addendums they're required. I read some tutorials on it, and it looks like a really nice way to go. I don't know if this is something I'm maybe getting off topic, but anything to maximize the number of bids that we can get, because we essentially only got 2 bids for this. that $7 million bid was kind of out of whack, okay? I don't think we can count that one.
It was actually our number 2. I don't mean to interrupt, but that was not their intent. They actually thought that they were second. Their bid was, as read, $398,000. But they made some mistakes on their bid form, which made it actually a $7 million project. So it was their mistake that resulted in that.
But if you would look into that, I
Certainly.
would appreciate it, and
Certainly.
just get back with us, because I'm not saying we should, I'm not saying we shouldn't, I truly don't know. But it seems like, along with listing them on the public websites, which was a no-brainer all along, that maybe this is something we should look into.
Certainly, I'll look into it.
Council, have any questions for Ms. Easton?
How can there be such a discrepancy? I mean, it's the same project. How can there be such a wide discrepancy in the bids, the final bottom
Just
line of
happens.
the bids?
Just happens, yeah.
Are you referring to the $7 million?
No, I'm referring to the difference between 274 and 401. I mean,
I think that there's a local advantage to that. You're going to see less mobilization when you've got crews and equipment
Already in
in
place
town.
here and
So I think that's the local advantage. The other was in, one was coming from Pilot Point, one was coming from Nacogdoches. So this isn't terribly far, but it's still not local. So I think we do see some of that benefit by having a local contractor.
that makes sense.
Has the Bray Company, do they have the safety and quality record that is acceptable?
We haven't had any issues. In our bid, we don't do a safety check. That's not part of our bid form. We follow the state requirements on procurement. But the engineer noted no past concerns, or we've only had good recommendations, so.
Well, there was a
They
bid on
passed.
Houston Street that the concrete had to be jackhammered up because it wasn't to code. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, so that was an issue.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
And we will have someone that will be overseeing this from the city to make sure we don't have that same problem again that
We will have a
occurred on
construction
Houston Street.
inspector assigned to it, yes,
I-
ma'am.
I- it needs to be obviously to code,
Of course.
all required inspections, all of them.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
sorry, one more question. Are they under a time constraint? Do you just give them a certain amount of time to finish the project?
It's a 4-month contract.
It's
So
a
they've
what?
4 months. It's 120 calendar day. And I anticipate we'll get started in October. It usually takes a few weeks for us to get contracts back and executed once we've issued the award.
All right, any other discussion? Well, I'll make a motion that we accept the contract from B. Bray Construction in the amount we discussed. Second, all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. Item number 12, discuss and act on an ordinance authorizing the issuance of a solid waste collection permit to County Waste Collection LLC, also known as Trashy Business. Mr. Godwin.
Real quickly, this is just an annual reapproval of the solid waste agreements. These companies are authorized through the city's power to collect commercial solid waste in the community. We only do residential. We do all the residential, but this is kind of a formality that we have to do this. And in some cities, these are just adopted by resolution or by motion, but in our case, they're adopted by ordinance, so that's why you're on the regular agenda.
Do we do these together, or do we do them separately?
You can do them together.
Okay, so item number 13, discuss and act on an ordinance authorizing the issuance of a solid waste collection permit to Sanitation Solutions. So we'll act on 12 and 13 together if that's legit. Any discussion on this? I'll make a motion, we authorize the issuance of these two permits.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? No one? Item number 14, discuss and act on an ordinance amending section 26-1, composition of Department of Chapter 26, Police of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Paris, Texas by reducing the number of officers employed by the Paris Police Department by 3, by reducing the number of lieutenant positions from 8 to 7, and by increasing the number of sergeants from 4 to 5, making other findings and provisions related to the subject, providing a repealer clause, a severability clause, a savings clause, and declaring an effective date. And yes, sir. present.
Mayor, Council, this is basically a housekeeping amendment. When North Lamar Independent School District formed their own police department, the 3 officers that we had in our budget and in our department were hired by them. And so we're 3 long, and we have no money to pay for them. The 4th deal, or the 4th personnel, is moving a lieutenant that is retiring October 31st. We're changing that position to a sergeant because in our long-term plan for the administration of the department, we're trying to reduce the number of lieutenants and increase the number of sergeants. That's pretty much it.
Any questions for Mr. Hunley? I make a motion, we pass this amendment as outlined. Second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Opposed? No one. Thank you. And item number 15, discuss and act on the fiscal year 2017-18 annual program of work and budgets for Love Civic Center and the Visitors and Convention Council. I make a motion to remove this item from the table.
Second it.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I thank the council for their due diligence and going over the budget. We have provided an itemized budget, line item budget, and Councilmember Knox and I sat down and went over it all, and I'll be glad to, however you want to do this, I'll be glad to do it line by line, or we can address any questions that you might have.
Your preference. Anybody?
I think it looks great.
Okay.
It's exactly what, I asked for. I hope that you all had an opportunity to read it and see the wonderful work the chamber does in economic development with the tourism industry. And also, please note the program of work that they attached as well. That's very comprehensive, and
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I would make a motion to approve the Visitors and Convention Council and Love Civic Center budget.
I'll second that. And any discussion regarding that before we vote?
Thank y'all for this.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Anything else?
Good job.
Thank you, Mr. Higdon. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Thanks.
You got it. And consider improved future events for the city council pursuant to, I won't read the number. No future events. Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
There's an activity taking place this Saturday that I know there will be several of us attending, the Main Street dinner table, so.
All right, make a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
All done.